You're doing everything right. You're working out, you're eating better, saying no to foods you love, only to step on the scale and see absolutely nothing. No change, no reward, no proof it's working. So you start wondering, is my metabolism broken? Am I just wasting time? Should I just quit? Before you do, there are 7 strange signs that your body will start to show right before serious fat loss starts to happen. And most people completely miss them. In fact, one of the signs on this list actually looks like fat loss completely stopped, which is exactly why so many people quit right before they get results. So if you've been frustrated because the scale has not been moving, watch very closely, because even if 2 or 3 of these signs are happening to you right now, your body may already be changing. Now, let's start with the weirdest one. Sign number 1. You are living in the bathroom. If you're suddenly making more trips in the bathroom than normal, maybe you're even pooping more. Sorry, that was very immature of me. Either way, don't panic. It can actually be a good sign. Most people assume that something's wrong, but in reality, maybe one of the earliest signs that your body's starting to change. Here's why. Your body stores carbohydrates as glycogen, and glycogen behaves kind of like a giant sponge. For every gram of glycogen that you store, you hold roughly 3 to 4 grams of water with it. So when your body starts to use the stored energy, the sponge gets squeezed, and that water has to go somewhere, meaning you're peeing it out. But that's only part of the story. Many people also know they're pooping more often. But listen, you're not flushing body fat down the toilet. That's not exactly how it works. But you may be getting rid of excess waste, water retention, and inflammation that may have been weighing you down for weeks, months, or even years. When digestion improves, your body becomes more efficient at eliminating what it no longer needs. And that is often one of the first signs your body's moving in the right direction. This is why some people seemingly drop 3, 5, or even 8 pounds overnight. They didn't magically burn 8 pounds of fat. They released water. Now, before you roll your eyes, that actually matters a lot, because excess water retention is often a sign of inflammation, stress, poor recovery, and inconsistent eating patterns. So when that starts improving, fat loss usually isn't far behind. But maybe you're not noticing bathroom changes. Maybe you're noticing something even stranger. Have you ever noticed your wedding ring spinning around your finger? Or your watch is suddenly fitting differently? Most people ignore that. Big mistake. Because your body doesn't lose water retention evenly. Think about a piece of ice thawing. The edges change first, and the middle takes longer. Your body works similarly. The first visible changes often happen in places nobody even pays attention to. Your hands, your wrists, your face. Meanwhile, people keep staring at their stomach, wondering why nothing's changing. My favorite thing I used to love telling my clients when I would take their tape measurement is oftentimes they think nothing has changed. My favorite measurement to take, can you guess it? Was the neck. It's one of the first places you see weight loss, and it's not something you think to even care about. But I'm like, man, if your neck's skinny, you're losing fat, like regardless of what you think. And lo and behold, every single time, if their neck was more than half an inch down, they lost a lot of fat, usually, or inches in other places. My point is, the evidence is there. You're just looking in the wrong place. Now, if you experience this next sign, you probably almost quit because of it. Sign number 3. The scale stops moving. This is literally where most people lose their minds. And it's exactly why they stay stuck. The scale stalls. A few days pass. Then a week, maybe 2. And they assume it's not working. But here's what most people don't realize. Fat loss is not a straight line. Your body is constantly shifting water, glycogen, inflammation, digestion, hormones, sodium balance, and stress levels. All of these things impact your weight. You can absolutely be losing fat even when the scale is temporarily uncooperative. I've had clients stay the same weight for 2 weeks, then wake up 4 pounds lighter. Nothing changed. The scale just finally caught up. I actually had a client that didn't lose a pound for almost 3 weeks. He was super concerned, but we kept taking his weight and we kept taking his tape measurements, and he was losing inches, which is the best sign that you're actually losing fat. He thought the plan had stopped working. Then one morning I get a crazy text. He stepped on the scale and was so surprised to see that he had lost 5 pounds. The fat loss was happening the whole time. It just took the scale time to catch up. Think about it like this. Not everyone, but a lot of us went to college. I went to college. When you're in your junior year and you haven't got your diploma yet, do you just get out of class and drop out? No, right? That'd be stupid. And I'm sure if your parents paying for college, they'd be pissed. There are clear signs that you're getting closer. For one, you go up to the next grade. And for 2, you have college credits. You're getting more and more of your credits. You're closer to graduating. Fat loss is no different. The problem is most people only use one sign, the weight scale. So they quit right before the breakthrough. And what's fascinating is that one of the next signs usually show up right during this stage. Waking up hungry. This one usually confuses everyone because diet culture always teaches you that hunger is bad. It's not. Uncontrolled hunger is bad. Predictable hunger is normal. In fact, many overweight people have completely lost touch with normal hunger signals. Coffee for breakfast, nothing for lunch. Starving by 4 p.m. Then the pantry gets taken to town at 9 p.m. Sound familiar? Then they tell themselves they lack discipline. No, their body is running on caffeine and chaos. When your eating structure improves, your hunger becomes predictable again. You wake up hungry and you actually want breakfast. You feel ready to eat, and that's often a sign that your metabolism is functioning the way it should. Think of your hunger like the electricity in your house. If your power was to eventually go out, obviously that's not a good thing. So of course you do whatever it takes to get it to come back on. And when it starts working again, you do whatever in your power to make sure it stays that way. And when your hunger starts normalizing, something else begins to happen. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Your brain feels like somebody unplugged it. Can't focus. You want caffeine, sugar, a nap, anything. And then suddenly, a few weeks later, it stops happening. No more crashes at 2 p.m. That matters because one of the first things people notice when their nutrition improves is not fat loss. It's energy. Stable blood sugar means fewer dramatic highs and lows. More consistent fuel means better focus. Better recovery means your brain isn't dragging itself through the day. Think of your body like a business. If cash flow is inconsistent, obviously the company struggles. But when business is booming and cash flow is consistent, the company grows and everything runs smoothly. Your body works the exact same way. And then the physical changes become harder to ignore. Your belt fits differently. This is where reality starts to poke holes in the weight scale's story. Your pants fit better. Your belt moves down one notch. Your shirt hangs differently. Yet the scale barely budges. How? Because the scale measures total weight, not fat, not muscle, not water or inflammation, just weight. Imagine calling a football game by just looking at the first quarter. That'd be ridiculous, right? You're missing the other 3 quarters. You're not getting the entire story. I've had clients lose 2 to 3 inches around their waist in a month, even when the scale was barely changing, especially when they started strength training. You may be thinking, how is this possible? It's because improving your body's composition and losing weight on the scale aren't always exactly happening at the same speed. But even as crazy as that is, the final sign might be the most powerful on the list because it has nothing to do with the scale, nothing to do with your pants or the mirror. It happens inside your head. This might be the biggest sign on the entire list because most people think it happens because of discipline. It usually doesn't. It happens because of structure. Most overweight people are fighting a mental battle every day. Don't eat that. Maybe later. Start Monday. Be good today. Cheat meal tonight. I'll make up for it tomorrow. It's exhausting. When meal timing improves, sleep improves, recovery improves, and blood sugar becomes more stable. And then something incredible happens. The food noise starts disappearing. If you've been in this situation, I'm sure you remember that there was a time in your life where all you could think about was food. What was my next meal? What could I snack on? What am I craving? And if you've been on the other side of this, or you're wanting to be on the other side of this, there are days where you may not even think about food once. That's freedom. Because when food stops controlling your thoughts, you finally get your attention back. You're no longer white knuckling your way through every afternoon. You're not negotiating with cookies. And you're not staring into the pantry looking for a dopamine hit. And scientifically, this makes sense. Research consistently shows that sleep deprivation increases hunger hormones like ghrelin and decreases your satiety hormones like leptin. Translation, poor sleep literally makes it harder to resist food. When recovery improves, cravings often disappear before any major weight loss occurs. And honestly, that's when I know someone's about to win. Because once food stops controlling your thoughts, fat loss becomes dramatically easier to sustain. So before you quit, ask yourself, are you living in the bathroom? Is your rein getting loose? Has the scale stopped moving? Are you waking up hungry? Crashing less, seeing changes in your belt size or your clothes, thinking about food less? Because if you are not failing, you're closer than you think. Remember, fat loss is not a discipline problem. It's a structure problem. And when the structure improves, the results become impossible to hide. And more importantly, impossible to not get. If you experience one of these signs before a breakthrough, drop it in the comments. I'll read every single one. And if you are still on the other side of the breakthrough, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss more helpful content like this. I'll see you on the next one.